Hello, welcome Tarot Tube watchers, new and old. Today I'm going to be taking a look at these two decks by Megan. I'm guessing this is Wyreweden. Wyreweden? I'm not sure exactly. And first, a little story about how they came to be in my possession. I am recently returned from a lovely trip to Scotland, up in the Highlands. And I had set as a goal for myself that I wanted to bring back a deck that felt like it was from that place, something that I couldn't get easily in the US. Well, we get to the second last day of the trip. I still haven't found a deck. Well, I got a deck of playing cards from Trinity College, but that doesn't really count. And I still don't have anything. And then I stumbled into this shop. I discovered this deck, and then I realized that this one was by the same creator. I ended up getting both of them, which was rather expensive. And I did know at the time that she was from the US, but it seemed like whenever I pick up these decks, I'll remember that I got them in Scotland, I got them in Edinburgh, and it will feel that way to me. And when I open them up and you take a look at them, I think you'll see that the imagery is, I think, it's from her imagination, I guess. She does live in Seattle, according to her website, which I will link below. But the imagery works for where I was. So let's look at the inside of the boxes. The Oracle has the Starry Night, and the Tarot has got May the Spirit of the Earth Guide Your Way. Now, these were obviously not designed to necessarily, when you see the cards, to work together, but I think they do, and certainly the typeface and stuff works. And let's look at the Nocturna Oracle first, and then we'll look at the Tarot, and then maybe we'll play with them a little bit. All right, so here's the bottom of that box. It's just this kind of box. We've got the phases of the moon here. It's lovely. And you can see that this has got solid black backgrounds with images. It is not in order because I did a few readings with it while I was traveling before I got home. All right, let's look at the book first. It's quite thin, and it's got an index, thank you, which is always helpful when things are not in strict alphabetical order, which they are not in this deck. So you're not like flipping through going, well, why is Cayman and Snow next to each other? That doesn't make any sense, right? You don't have to struggle. So thank you for that too. She's got a nice little introduction. Excuse me. The typical thing that you see where the creator gives you a couple spreads that they like. And then she just jumps right into the definitions of the cards. Now, there's not a lot of biographical information available in these books, but you can find out about the creator on the website. And I have a feeling I'll be buying other things from her because she also has some TTRPG, or tabletop role-playing game, materials that she created. So we seem to be kindred souls on some level. But first, let's look at these beautiful backs and see how it's echoed in the Anima Mundi. You'll see them when they're together. We've got gold gilding. It is a linen. I don't know if you can see. I'll sort of do this a little bit. You might be able to see the texture of it. And it's not super thin, but it handles well. It's the corners are rounded, but they're not super rounded. So I like it. Let's see, how many cards are there? Let's find out. I should have looked at that before. 52 pages. It starts on page 5. All right, so mid-40s. Some things are combined, it looks like. All right, like I said, this is not in order because I have used it, but let's just take a look at some of this beautiful imagery. Lavender. You know what? I'll do it this way so we have a back at the same time. So we've got different things, different living things. We've got mushrooms, then we had a plant. Here's an insect, the grasshopper, the scorpion. And here is snow. And you saw before we had a fog. I think this is pronounced Cayman. Somebody could correct me in the comments. I can handle it. Geode. I think it looks like a mouth, which geodes kind of do look like a mouth. An owl and a starfish. I like the simplicity of this deck. It sort of reminds me of some Lenormand decks where it's just like, it's a frog. There's nothing to think about here. It's a frog. It's a badger. Here's kelp. So all of these things that we're seeing in these cards, when I was in Scotland, of course it's on an island. Different parts of Scotland are individual islands, but a lot of these things felt like things that could have been there. Now, there are no cats or bears or wolves left in Scotland. They don't exist there anymore. Dusk. Some controversy about maybe trying to reintroduce some of these large animals, but might not work with the human population. I don't know if you get to see the Aurora Borealis in the Highlands or not. You might be able to, like in the Orkney Islands where it's really high up, possibly. Gecko, shark. So some of these things are really common, like anywhere in the Northern Hemisphere. Well, I don't know if that's in the Northern Hemisphere. I've only used the deck a couple of times. But I love how it's Nocturna, but it's nature, all these different aspects about nature at night. I guess kiwis come out at night. I thought that I didn't think about it at all. There you go. Pitcher plant, little morpho. That's beautiful, isn't it, on that black background? I think the black background is very effective. This slug, it's so beautiful. The woman in the shop that I was chatting with thought that these were oil paintings. I'm not positive. I didn't go that far. Look how pretty the fireflies are. Since I was a child, I've thought fireflies were magical, particularly magical. We get 2 in 1 here with the clownfish and the anemone and this moth. So these winged creatures are really jumping out at me right now as I'm making this video. Scallop, mountain lion, bat, the classic Nocturna kind of animal, a fennec fox. Look at those ears. The night sky, coral snake, manta ray, the opossum, a tide pool, the tura, that's a night blooming flower, and moonstone. So that is it. It's a really pretty deck. Let's just give it a shuffle just so you can see. It handles really easily. I suppose part of it is the number of cards, so it's not just the size up. So it handles very, very nicely. And they're holding their shape. And it is super humid where I am right now. So these have been on an airplane, all kinds of weird condition, and they're holding their shape very nicely. So that represents well for the quality of the product. All right, now we're going to take a look at the Anima Mundi Tarot. I am super excited to do this because I didn't want to shuffle the cards and get them out of order till I made my video. So here's the inside of the box. It's very pretty. So now I can play with it. Yay! The guidebook is very similar. See, there's nothing about the creator back there. It's a typical guidebook, just giving you keywords, the usual kinds of spreads. Oh, wait a second. There's a little bit here. I missed this. Okay, it is acrylic paint. Nature-inspired deck based off of the Rider-Waite. Includes 78 individual cards, originally painted in 2017 with acrylic paint. It's divided into 2 sections. Okay, that part we know. All right, so there it is. A modest creator. She doesn't say much about herself. Let's take a look at it. I don't know that I'm going to say a lot at this point. I think I'm a little jet lagged. I'll be quiet and just let you look at it. So it's very much, like I said, like she says, nature-based. I think it's interesting that we've got these keys on this Hierophant and the Lovers. So they're very clear, easy to read. The Roman numerals are contrasting. They're switching between dark and light. Maybe she could have gone with the white on that one, right? But they still are pretty easy to see. I love this death card with the snake shedding its skin. These pair nicely, don't they? And for those of you who don't like seeing the baby on a horse, there you go. No baby on the horse. There we go. That's it. That is our major arcana. Put this over here now, and we'll look at the minors. So a little bit pippish here, although the bees do hint at the work aspect, working together aspect. Raccoons. This is a good one with the leaves off the tree in the winter. Aw, the elephant. Beavers. All right, we get our court cards. Very nice. Are you noticing that she also uses the Roman numerals on her minors as well as the majors? Well, that's really beautiful with the ribbon. Kind of appreciate that there's no blood in that one. A nice mix of pippish and telling a story. Oh, that's a bat. I hadn't noticed that. I did look at the deck once. I didn't pick up on the bat before. This is a bird of prey, probably a vulture, but can't be sure. Looks like it's just coming out of the chrysalis, I guess, I suppose. Another bird of prey, and another one, and another one. So he likes the birds of prey. She likes the birds of prey for the sword suit. Oh, look at these cute mushrooms. Why are these kinds of mushrooms so darn cute? Who doesn't like these mushrooms? I don't know anybody who doesn't like those mushrooms. Okay, let's just look at this for a second, because this is kind of interesting. So these wands, they look like spring blooms. So it's you know, the beginnings of something creative, something being birthed. I like that. And this, so I guess it's the Milky Way. I guess. I don't know. It's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt. That's what I think when I see the Five of Wands. I can be silly sometimes. I can be silly a lot of times, actually, because I like fun. I like that wand suit. Now we get our court cards, the page, the knight, queen. Oh, it's all fur babies. Ace of Cups. Oh, look at the seahorses. And the seals. Oh gosh. That is sad. Okay, moving on. Gosh, that got me in the feels. Well, there's no doubting that the cups are a water suit, right? Waters. A whale for the queen and another whale for the cup, for the king. Lovely. All right, let's do this. Let's see how it feels. Give it a little shuffle. So, well, I had shuffled the other deck a few times. It's my first time. I don't want any reversals. Okay, so that's pretty smooth. Yep, that goes well. Now look at the two of them together. So, you know, they're not the same. They're not twinsies, but they're siblings. And let's see how they look. Whoops. Flip this around. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I know why. It's because I flipped it over differently. Silly me. Ooh, I like these two together. All right, so I think you probably got an idea of how these two look and how they might interplay with each other. You know, very obvious at a glance. This one has these borders. This one is borderless, the black background. These are just, you know, a little lighter. But I think they look pretty good together, and I'm excited to try them. Should be consistent on how I turn them over. But yeah, I am definitely excited to give these a try. So, you know, if you're interested in more little walkthroughs like this, you can find them here. Hit the subscribe or the like button. I don't think, YouTube keeps changing it, and somebody told me that if you don't hit the subscribe button, things may not come up on your feed, but I don't know how that's working. Definitely you want to hit the like button. And if you subscribe, that works for me too. So here they are, these two beautiful decks. I'm looking forward to looking at them and playing with them some more, and go out there and find something that puts a smile on your face. Bye-bye.